Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Hot 26 breakdown of the warm up series. Hold on, I'm going to start recording this now. If you wouldn't mind giving me a little note, dropping me a line, if you can hear me clearly, see me clearly, I'm in my house, safe and sound, and I'm just really, really excited to virtually be here with all of you. Wanted to start off by saying that I miss all of you. I love you guys so, so much. I know that this is kind of a uncertain time where we don't feel very grounded, maybe. And I just wanted to start off by, okay, sorry, Danielle's telling me that she can't hear me yet. So this is our first live, so bear with me while I try to fix this audio. Okay. How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test, 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 test. D? Test, test, test. Danielle's had me on mute this whole freaking time. Are you kidding? Thanks. Thanks a lot. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, like I said, I know that maybe a lot of you are feeling kind of uncertain and ungrounded. Hey, Becky. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you can hear me and that you're here. But I just wanted to let you guys know it's so important that during this time that we have some kind of structure, some kind of routine set in place for us. That looks like self-care. I know many of us are taking care of kids, are taking care of loved ones, and feel really cooped in the house right now. So try to create a sense of structure for yourself first thing when you wake up, and just be flexible, but have that kind of structure to lean on right now. And that's why I love the Hot 26. It's a really structured series that we can rely on during times of uncertainty. A lot of people that don't really have a set schedule every single day love Hot 26 because it's that hour that they know what's coming next. Whereas people that maybe have a very organized day to day kind of schedule where they like wake up, go take the kids to school, go to work, eat the same thing every day, they gravitate maybe to more like vinyasa type fluid practices. So I think we can all lean on the Hot 26 right now. And I just wanted to take this opportunity. Momini's on right now, my son's grandma, and Gavin's watching me. Hey, Gavin, shout out from home, buddy. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. And I'm really glad that you're on, buddy. And we're going to be talking about the warm up series. And Gavin, you've done the Hot 26 before, so we're going to be talking about pranayama breathing, half moon, awkward pose, and eagle, and then the water break. So the first thing that we do when we enter class for Hot 26 is we lay down right before the teacher comes in. It's nice to be able to come in a little bit early, so you're not rushing in, and be able to lay down and get comfortable and ground yourself and start thinking about what you want your intention to be. Hey, Gavin, I see you on typing on. So setting an intention is important, and it starts right when you walk into the studio and you put your mat down and lay down on your mat. So see if you can try, when all of this is said and done, get to the studio like 15 minutes early so that you have that opportunity, that space, and that time to start thinking about your intention. When the teacher comes in, and we all rise together as one unit, we stand at the top of our mat and we ground ourselves, and we take some time to set our intention. Now, I think for the longest time, I didn't even know what an intention was. Whenever the teacher was like, okay, take this time to set a simple intention for your practice. Like, what the heck is an intention? An intention is very simple, but very, very powerful. So it's a word or phrase, something that you can come back to throughout the 60, 75, 90 minutes that you are on your mat moving your body. That's going to not only help you to improve the quality of your practice, but also the quality of your life. So just a word or a phrase, something positive that you want to cultivate in your life, depending on what's going on in your life. So let's say, let me give you an example of a good intention. Let's say you are not feeling well in your body and you're feeling weak or you're feeling kind of run down, and this is your first practice back to try to get back into your routine with your hot 26 practice, maybe a good intention would be kindness, kindness to the body. So that would be a good intention. So when the teacher says stand up, set your intention for class, you close your eyes and just think of that word and think of what that means for you today, and then you carry that with you into every single posture. The first thing that we do in class, as far as the actual Hot 26 series, is we do the pranayama breathing exercise. A traditional 90-minute Bikram class is 2 sets of pranayama breathing, 10 rounds each. And the reason why we do pranayama breathing is to, one, set the tone for our practice energetically, mentally, and emotionally, because we have so many thoughts running through our minds. What am I going to do after this? What am I going to eat for dinner? I have to hop on a call. So this breathing exercise forces us to enter the present moment by starting to focus on our breath. It sets the tone for the practice, but it also prepares our lungs for the postures to come. It's designed to increase the lung capacity, so we can start to breathe more deeply into the lower chambers of the lungs. Normally, throughout our everyday life, we're just kind of using the top like 20% of our lungs, kind of short sips of air throughout the day, and we're not really focused on our breath at all. So the pranayama breathing helps us to utilize the lowest chamber of the lungs, so that we can not only utilize that in our practice, but also throughout the day after we leave the studio. The breath is prana, which is the life force. The energy that we gain for our practice is from pranayama breathing. That breathing exercise is so important. And I know it can be like, a lot of people dread it and like, why are we doing this? But pranayama breathing prepares you to have the energy that you need for each and every posture. So there's that. So not only does it set the tone emotionally, mentally, and physically, it prepares for the lungs and the body for a practice. It also sends freshly oxygenated blood to every single part of the body, so we are more mentally alert and physically alert. And it can be very confusing, especially for beginners. So I'd like to talk about the alignment of pranayama breathing. You would interlace all 10 fingers down to the webbing. I see a lot of this. So it's very important that we interlace all 10 fingers down to the webbing. And then you actually, hey, Katie, you glue all 10 of your knuckles underneath your chin, including your pinky knuckles underneath your chin. Your thumbs lightly press your throat, okay? And your chin is level when you start. Now, your elbows, let me push this kind of further so you guys can see me. So interlace grip underneath the chin, elbows working towards touching. Now, if it makes you round your shoulders forward to get your elbows to touch, don't worry about it. You can have some space in between your elbows and your shoulders are nice and relaxed and your chin is level. All 10 knuckles glued underneath your chin, pinky knuckles underneath your chin, thumbs touch your throat, chin is level. I see a lot of this where your chin is up. So it's very important that when you start breathing, your chin is down, okay? As you inhale, you're going to float your elbows up like wings by your ears. Float your elbows up. This is kind of interesting. And keep your wrists straight. So I see a lot of this. You want to keep your wrists straight underneath your chin in pranayama breathing. Hey, Tyler, how are you? Chin level, elbows up like bellows, like wings by your ears, and keep your knuckles glued underneath your chin. You press your chin into your knuckles as you float your elbows up to get a deeper stretch across the scapula. And as you exhale, you use your knuckles. I'm going to come sideways so you guys can see me. You use your knuckles to push your head back, squeeze your wrists first, squeeze your forearms next, squeeze your elbows to touch at the end of your exhale breath, okay? So it's not, let me get closer. So inhale, chin down, elbows up. Exhale, head back. Squeeze your wrists, squeeze your forearms, squeeze your elbows to touch, head back. I tend to see a lot of this going on. So chin level, and then your elbows are like down by your chest. So you literally have to pull your elbows up towards the ceiling so your forearms are more parallel to the ceiling. Okay? And it's literally like this. This is all you're doing over and over again. Head back, chin down. Head back, chin down. Head down, chin back. Okay? So your knuckles are glued underneath your chin the entire time. Head back, elbow squeeze. And you synchronize the movement of your arms with the movement of your breath. So let's say, for example, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, chin down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Relax the base of your neck as you drop your head back and pull your elbows up towards the ceiling. So that's the alignment, the physical alignment of pranayama breathing, which is a lot in and of itself. And then I'm also asking you to focus on the breath itself. The best way that I could explain to you the inhale, which is, I think, the most confusing, is pretend Tyler, Katie, Danielle, Gavin, that I just told you, Gavin's going to love this, that you just won the lottery. You just won $100 million. Okay? What sound would you make? You would say, someone just showed up at my doorstep and told me I won $100 million. Right? Exhale like you're fogging up a mirror. Right? We all know how to do that. Inhale like you just found out you won the lottery, but halfway through, close your mouth. Continue that lottery breath. Okay, so it's going to be a... The whole time, I'm just doing this with my mouth closed. So exhale like you're fogging up the mirror. Inhale, lottery breath. Exhale, fogging up the mirror. Mama, we've got to teach this to Mama and June. Mama and June has some breathing problems, so this would be really good for her to help her to increase the capacity of her lungs. Hey, Carly, how are you? So that's very important. Oftentimes, as a teacher throughout the years, I have seen students really struggle with understanding the inhale. The reason why we want to inhale in this manner versus just inhale like we do in our everyday lives is because you're able to really access the lower chamber of the lungs through that type of breathing. If I were to just breathe in through my nose and try to reach a count of 8 or a count of 6, it's impossible. Watch. Right? I can't. Okay? Inhale. I could go on forever. Exhale. Inhale just through your nose without accessing the back of your throat and creating that audible vibration in the back of your throat is just maybe a 2 to 3 count breath. So I stop and I'm not able to kind of get deeper than that. So that lottery breath is a good tool to help you to breathe a little bit more deeply on that inhale. And then you'll notice that even if you are able to access that watery breath for the first time and you're like, oh my gosh, I now hear the sound that everybody's doing in class and I feel it in my throat, but I'm still only able to breathe in like maybe 4 counts of breath. Why? That's normal. In the beginning, once you access that watery inhale breath, you're only going to be able to maybe take in 3 to 4 counts, maybe 5 counts of breath. Hold it at the top and wait for everybody to finish the 6 count or 8 count. At Fahrenheit, we do 8 count breath. Wait for everybody to finish the 8 count inhale. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Hold it in your lungs. Don't exhale yet. And then once I say exhale, head back, that's when you... And as you come over and over again and you train your lungs to maintain that air for like the other 4 counts of breath until we exhale, you are allowing your lungs to kind of expand over time, you'll be able to maybe in a week or two access 5-count breath or a 6-count breath, and then you hold it for 2 counts. Exhale for 8, which is pretty easy for most of us to do, okay? And then maybe a week from now, you'll be able to 7-count breath. I have seen students be able to access a 12-count breath because they've really trained their bodies to be able to take in that much air. So let's try. Okay, so inhale. Let me exhale for a second. Inhale. Right? So that was like, I want to say like a 9-count breath because I've done this for a really long time. So that's what I have to say about the inhale and the exhale. So if you take the sound and the actual breathing and you connect it with the movement of the arms, a lot is going on. So it leaves very little space for your mind to think about your grocery list and to think about your fight with your boyfriend, or to think about all the things that you don't need to be thinking about right now, right? You need to be in the present moment, because if we think about it, the present moment is where our life is. And yoga teaches us to be here now as much as possible. So the breathing exercise is so important for us to get out of our heads, like I said, and to feel better in our bodies. Any questions on pranayama breathing as of now? I'm trying to think of anything else I want to say about pranayama. Oh, I do. I learned this from Anna Heath and a few other teachers, but really Anna Heath, that you don't, and Roland. Roland is really good about this. Okay. I see a lot of this going on. Let me just take this off so you guys can see my arms. I see a lot of this in class, right? Maybe you have it down and you're like doing it, but you're just like not in it, right? You're just kind of going through the motions. If you start to watch Anna Heath, kind of point this down so you guys can see me. See my feet, right? She's grounded through her feet. She's zipped up through her legs. Everything is like solid, concrete, one piece in her legs. Her booty is tight. Her belly is in. Abdomen is tight, okay? So she's really activated in pranayama breathing. And your elbows move towards one another. So your legs are really tight. Core is tight. Inhale. I'm going to have to take this up so you can see my belly, okay? As you inhale, you suck your stomach in. So it's everything's tight in the lower half of the body. Elbows are up. Belly in, belly in, belly in, belly in. Exhale, drop your head back. Wrist squeeze, elbow squeeze. Pull your elbows up towards the ceiling. My lower body still is very, very active here, okay? So you'll hear your teachers say something along the lines of, inhale, see your rib cage visible in the front mirror, see your waist narrow. So that's where you suck your stomach in on the inhale. Hey, Julie. And then as you exhale, your belly relaxes, I'm pretty sure, right? Exhale. Yeah, your belly relaxes, but you're still zipped up in your lower half of the body. Your heart is lifted, your elbows squeezed tight, elbows up towards the ceiling, head back, eyes open. I see a lot of times students will close their eyes in pranayama breathing. That's going to create some dizziness. So you want to keep your eyes open. Gavin loves Fortnite. That's what he wanted me to say. Yes, Gavin does love Fortnite. Hey, baby. And keep your eyes open and look back towards the windows on your exhale. Anything else that I want to add about pranayama breathing before we move on? So staying active in the lower half of the body, staying lifted in your heart, belly is tight and sucked in on the inhale. Arms are really active as you squeeze your wrist, forearms, elbows to touch. The inhale, lottery breath. The exhale, H-A ha sound. So let me talk about the exhale a little bit. The exhale is forceful, right? It's not just, no, it's like you are trying to fog up a mirror directly above you on the ceiling. So you're not just with as much strength and intention that you are taking in air, you're forcing it back out, because we're cleansing the body inside out through this breathing exercise, and the exhale has a lot to do with it. So you have to open your mouth really wide and open your throat really wide and squeeze the air out of your body until you're completely breathless. Just like I told you to hold it on the inhale, okay? And wait for everybody to reach that 8 count breath. Same thing with the exhale. If you're unable to reach the 8 count at the end of the exhale, hold it again, right? Hold it at the end of your exhale. Wait for everyone to finish that 8 count exhale, and then inhale once I tell you to bring your chin down, elbows up. So it would look something like this. Inhale. Let's say I can only exhale like 4 counts. Exhale. Hold it in your mouth. Don't inhale yet until I tell you inhale. So as I said, the more that you come, the more that you'll be able to kind of increase the inhale and the exhale. So I think that's it for pranayama breathing. Anybody have any questions? And then we'll move on to the next posture, or the first actual posture class, which is half moon with hands to feet. I can always come back to pranayama and breathing, so let's move on. Half moon with hands to feet is one of my favorite postures, but it's also challenging for a lot of us. So I'm going to begin with the grip. Okay, so as you inhale, let's stand now. As you inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch. Interlace all 10 fingers down to the webbing, release your index fingers, cross your thumbs. So you can see this is what a steeple-like grip looks like, you guys. It's tight. Your fingers are interlaced all the way down to the webbing, just like you had in pranayama breathing. The only difference is that your index fingers are released into this steeple-like grip, okay? And you have to squeeze your palms tight down to the veins of your wrist so there's no gap, no light in between your wrists, okay? That's your steeple-like grip. So you can see it up close. All right, and then arms back behind your ears. Squeeze your arms into your ears so there's no gap, no light in between your arms, your biceps, and your ears. I see a lot of this. So you physically have to bring your arms back, chin up, away from the chest, so that 3 inches of your throat remain visible in the front ear. Oftentimes I see this. You have to chin up, arms back, squeeze the palms tight, squeeze your arms into your ears, squeeze tight so there's no gap, no light, arms back, belly in. Okay, I think somebody's saying something. Okay, and that's it, all right, for this. So if you're unable to lock out your elbows and keep your arms straight, and that's not something that that's doable for you, that's fine. Just move in that direction. That's the beauty of the Hot 26, you guys. We don't have to be perfect at the postures right off the bat. And maybe we'll never be perfect at the postures right off, even 10 years from now. It is the intention behind the movements and moving towards that, right? So you have that tight grip, your arms is as straight as you can possibly make it. And let's say you're able to keep your arms stick straight and your palms tight for 5 seconds at a time, and then it's just like, I can't anymore. All right, let it go, but come back to that. Don't forget about it. Even if you only are able to squeeze your arms tight into your ears and squeeze your palms tight for 5 seconds, and then you need to kind of chill out for a second, come back to it. Squeeze tight, squeeze your palms tight for another 5 more seconds until eventually you're able to do that for the whole minute, okay, or the whole 30 seconds on the second set. So you got your steeple-like grip, you got your arms straight, strong and engaged, no bend in your elbows to the best of your ability. Your arms are back behind your ears. Your chin is up away from the chest. Okay, so this is setup. We haven't even pushed yet. This is still the setup. So much is happening that we need to pay attention to right before we even enter the posture in the setup. All right, so in the setup, you got your palms tight, you got your arms tight, you got your chin away from the chest. Belly is in tight. Suck your stomach in as tight as you can. And in the lower half of the body, squeeze your glutes, engage inner thighs, even squeeze your calf muscles. So your lower half is concrete one piece the whole entire time. So even if I don't even push my hips to the left, you guys, I'm working so hard. I can start sweating right now with how much I'm working as I'm squeezing everything, belly in, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the inner thighs, squeezing the calves, squeezing the palms, squeezing the arms into the ears, bringing the chin up away from the chest, relaxing the shoulders. So much is happening before I've even entered the posture, right? And something that I want to touch on that Nikki had said in class that really just like light bulbs were going off for me is that if you don't start, no, it was Heather. Sorry, it was Heather. If you don't start with the intention in the setup of what you're going to do in the rest of the posture, then the rest of the posture is going to be whatever the setup is, right? So right away, start with the engagement in the setup so that you can carry that into the posture. That's why you look at Heather. She has the most gorgeous Hot 26 posture. That's why you look at Nikki, the most gorgeous postures, because they really do the boring work that we don't want to do in the setup. And then they carry that into the posture. What else about half moon setup? Squeeze palms tight. Okay, belly is in, glutes are tight, and then you're rooting down through your heels. Press down through your heels so you can draw that energy all the way up into your steeple. All right. So here we are in the setup. I tell you, inhale, reach your arms up over the head and release all 10 fingers. Release your index fingers, cross your thumbs, squeeze your palms tight, arms back, chin up. Belly is in tight. Root down. Inhale, lift up and out of your waist first. That lift is very important, okay, to create length across both sides of your torso. And then exhale, tick-tock, back and forth, right and left to start to warm up both sides of the body before we even enter the posture. A lot of times we like to roll forward and roll back. It doesn't really matter what you do here as long as you keep your core engaged when you're rolling in forward and rolling back. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm just reading these comments. And then so tick-tocking back and forth, right and left. And then let's go ahead and enter the posture. So when the teacher says inhale, lengthen up, stretch up and out of your waist. Exhale, tick-tock, back and forth, side to side. Come back up to center. Inhale, lift up, stretch up and out of your waist. Exhale, push your hips to the left and stretch your upper body to the right. You have exactly 1 minute on the clock. So you have your engagement in the setup. You are ready for the first posture. So you go, you push the hips, upper body to the right. I think I'm kind of backwards now on the screen, but you guys get the idea. Everything is engaged for a minute. Chin up, gaze forward, find what we call drishti. A drishti is a focal point forward, a soft gaze. And your drishti is very important in the posture. It's going to kind of give you that meditative aspect of the practice. So you find your drishti, maybe you look in your own two eyes and notice how that feels for you. And then over and over again, with every inhale, you lift up and out of your waist. With every exhale, you push your hips beyond your flexibility, more to the left. Use the strength of your right arm to pull on your left arm so you feel this tremendous stretch along the side of your body, from your fingertips all the way down to your left heel. Press your right shoulder forward and your left hip forward. And I know that seems a little bit confusing, but basically we just want you to be even and square from the side. Okay, so nothing's kind of sticking forward or sticking back. Belly is in the whole time. And yeah, that's half moon. And then you go back up to after the minute, you go to the center and then you go to the other side. Same thing on the opposite side of the body. Danielle said, is this how you get your muscles? Well, that's from isogenics. We can talk about that another time. And then we go to the back bend. So the back bend is super important as well. And the back bend, I'm going to have to show you so you guys can see the side profile. Okay. Here we are in the back bend. So after you've reached back up to center, drop your head back, shake out your head, yes and no, left and right, let go of any tension in your neck. Inhale, lift up and out of your waist, touch the ceiling. That inhale is everything, you guys. If I don't inhale and I just go back, look what it looks like. Let's say I'm just here and I just go back. Oh, I can't, right? Inhale, lengthen up and out of your waist. Exhale, press your hips, thighs, abdomen forward. All of the weight is in your heels, all of it. And then you slowly begin to go back and fall back, inch by inch. Trace an imaginary line, ceiling group by ceiling group back with your fingertips. Be very careful if you're doing this at home, you guys, practicing this, because you're not warm, and the Hot 26 is not meant to be done in room temperature. Let's be real. So it's very, very important that you don't go deep into these postures when you don't have the external heat. So inhale, you're lifting and lengthening up and out of your waist. Exhale, press your hips, thighs, abdomen forward beyond your toes. Rock 100% of the weight into your heels. Go back, fall back inch by inch. Trace an imaginary line, ceiling grid by ceiling grid back with your fingertips. Every single inhale, you continue to lift a few times while you're in the back bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press your hips, thighs, abdomen forward, go back even more. Arms in the back bend are straight, strong, and engaged, you guys. I see this a lot in the back bend, right? No, your arms are straight, strong, and engaged, and you bring your arms back in line with your ears, okay? So arms are in line with your ears as you back bend. I see a lot of this. Arms back, okay? Rock them all the way into your heels, and legs are straight, strong, and engaged. No bent knees as well. Okay. Katie said, I get dizzy easily in that one. Is it better to go deep and come out when I feel dizzy, or move slowly? Are you talking about the back bend? I'm guessing, Katie. So yeah, I mean, that's very common in the back bend. Make sure that you're breathing and you're not holding your breath. In the back bend, we use something called 80-20 breathing. 80-20 breathing is where you fill up your lungs on the inhale. So you're going to fill up your lungs 100% as you lift up. Exhale, press your hips, thighs, abdomen forward, and go back. And this is where the 80% comes in. So when you go back, you just allow the top 20% of your lungs to empty on the exhale, and then re-enter again 20% on the inhale. Small sips of air, evenly in and out through your nose in the back bend might help with the dizziness. And yeah, it's very normal to feel nauseous or dizzy during back bends. We're opening up the entire front line of the body. We're starting to work deeply into the central nervous system, and it can feel intense. The back bends are meant to feel intense. It won't always be like that, Katie, I promise. The more that you practice and the more that you kind of keep your breath under control while you're going back and opening your heart like that, the dizziness will begin to subside. And it also depends on many different factors. It depends on how much water you drank, what the weather's like outside, what the inside temperature is like, what you drank the night before, what you didn't drink the night before, what you ate. So just kind of be kind with yourself and know that every single day when you practice is going to be very, very different. But the breathing, that 80-20 breathing should help a lot in the back bend. On time, are we good? I can keep going, right? We go into the forward fold. So as you forward fold, you bend your knees, hinge from the hips with a flat back. Okay? So let's say you're coming from your back bend, right? Back up. Inhale, belly in tight. Exhale, hinge from the hips, flat back all the way down. And you're going to reach. Try to touch the mirrors as you hinge. And your arms are by your side. Your arms are by your ears the whole time. So we're going from here, belly in, belly in, belly in. Bend your knees. Once your spine begins to round, you're going to bend your knees to keep your back flat and to protect your lower spine. Okay, let me just kind of point this down so you guys can see. Belly in, bend your knees, drop the head, let your head relax. Can you guys see me pretty good? Okay, cool. Drop the head, relax the base of your neck, and wiggle your hips back and forth, back and forth. So I want you guys to start to think about just the genius behind this series, you guys. So much controversy with Bikram, but all of that aside, the series is freaking genius. Okay, so we've warmed up the body, we've warmed up the lungs through pranayama breathing. After that, we have stretched the spine to the left, laterally stretch to the right. We've done the back bend, and now we're ready to take the spine into the opposite direction to a forward fold, right? It's anticipated. Everything builds upon the next. So now that we just did that deep backward bend, our body is craving to fold back into itself, okay? So once you kind of drop the head, wiggle your hips back and forth, that part is really important. You know, that whole like wiggling the hips back and forth, dropping your head, shaking your head out. People get real shy here. They don't want to move around. They're just like this. Right? You have to wiggle before you get into the hands to feet to stimulate synovial fluid in the joints, like WD-40 for the joints helps to lubricate them, and to start to just warm up the lower half of the body. This is all about the safety of the spine and just the safety of the muscles along the back line of the body. So wiggling the hips is extremely necessary. Sometimes some deep knee bends might feel good. I typically wait to the second set to invite students to do the deep knee bends, but you're welcome to do whatever you want. And There is little pockets of freedom in the Hot 26, so make sure that you take those pockets of freedom and just do what feels good in your body. So that's one of those times where you're kind of welcome to move around. Then when we move into hands to feet, this might be a little bit difficult to show. I might have to move my computer so that you can see me like full on. Okay, hands to feet. Okay, bend your knees deeply, you guys. Glue your stomach to your thighs and your chest to your knees, so there's no gap, no light between your upper body and your lower body at all. Kind of push it back a little bit more. Bear with me, you guys. This is the first time I'm doing this. Okay. All right. Bend your knees deeply, glue your stomach to your thighs and your chest to your knees. Then reach back, step on all 10 fingers behind and underneath both heels. I'm going to show you the grip so you can see it. Okay, so here I am. Reach back, step on all 10 fingers behind and underneath your heels. Pinky fingers touch, all 10 fingers in the same direction as your toes. Squeeze your elbows towards touching. This is the grip. That's not going to be reality for a lot of us, and that's totally fine. So please be kind with yourself. If you're unable to reach back and get all 10 fingers behind and underneath your heels, move in that direction. And if it's still like, oh, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, I can't even get like one finger behind and underneath my heels, you can release the grip as a modification. Okay, you can release the grip if this is not for you, the heels, and just kind of go here, right? And just grab the backs of your calves, grab the backs of your ankles, and squeeze your elbows towards touching. And then eventually you'll be able to, as your body begins to open, get your fingers underneath your heels. Okay? So, and it's not like Beaker like woke up and was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna have them, excuse my language, Gavin, step on all 10 fingers behind and underneath their heels just for the heck of it, right? No, there's a purpose behind even stepping on your fingers to prevent arthritis, to kind of cut off the blood circulation to our fingers, so that when we do release, we rush freshly oxygenated blood back into the fingers. So much genius behind every single little piece of the series. So the grip is really important. If you can't get all 10 fingers, you know what to do. Modifying, grabbing the backs of your calves, squeezing your elbows towards touching. The most important aspect of hands to feet posture, you guys, is that your upper body is glued to your lower body. It's not about having straight legs. I've been doing the Hot 26 for about 12 years now. I do not have straight legs in this posture. It's not possible for me right now. I mean, I've tried and tried and tried, but that doesn't matter. I'm still receiving just as many benefits as Heather or Roland or Nikki or whoever else that are able to have their stomach glued to your thighs and straight legs. Okay. The reason why having your upper body glued to your lower body is so important is because we're physically trying to cut off the blood circulation to the front line of the body for a full minute, okay? So that when we do release out of the posture, we rush freshly oxygenated blood specifically to the digestive system to flush out our internal organs of toxins. So the compression is important. Of course, the stretch is very important too. As long as you feel a tremendous stretch in the backs of your legs in this posture, you're gonna receive 100% benefits. So as you have that grip, wherever you are, drop your head, tuck the chin to the chest, because I see a lot of this. No, you have to tuck the chin to the chest. Wrap your forearms behind your calf muscles. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pull on your heels. That's my hands to feet. Look how bent my knees are. It's crazy. It doesn't matter because I have my upper body glued to my lower body. And as I'm lifting, you guys, lifting my hips up, I feel this deep stretch in my glutes and my hips and the backs of my legs and in the backs of my calves. And now I even feel it as I pull in my lower back, middle spine, upper spine. So I don't have to have straight legs. What I do tend to see is people being like, oh, no, I want to have straight legs. And then they lose that upper body to lower body contact, right? If I wanted, I could have straight legs. I would completely lose the upper body to lower body contact. And that's defeating the purpose of the pose. So yeah. Any questions so far on that? Trying to think. So the purpose of hands to feet, like I said, is compression and extension, and opening up the entire back line of the body. So you'll hear your teachers say this is a 360 degree stretch. What does that mean? It means that you are able to stretch from your heels all the way to your tailbone, from your tailbone all the way to the crown of the head, which is why this chin tuck is important. We don't want to stop stretching at the base of the neck. We want to stretch the cervical spine as well. So that's why you have to tuck the chin to the chest, bring your eyelashes to graze your shins. Bikram says give yourself little butterfly kisses on your shins with your eyelashes. So that chin tuck is very, very important. Eventually, if you watch some of the Fahrenheit teachers that are really established in their Hot 26 practice, you will see that the crown of their head is able to touch their toes. Right? Insane. I've seen about 3 teachers be able to do that. It's beautiful. Christina Osborne is one of them. I mean, if you guys get a chance to take Christina's class, I think it's Wednesday night at 4:30, take from her. She was trained by Bikram himself, you guys, and her practice is nuts. It's gorgeous. She has so many different nuances that she can help you with. She's been doing this way longer than I have. And so utilize the teachers like Celeste, like Christina, that have been trained by Bikram and have this stunning, gorgeous practice that know way beyond what I could ever know, because they've been there in their bodies. So definitely utilize those teachers. What else can I think about in hands to feet? Oh, this is important. I hold this posture for a full minute. I think maybe some studios do it 45 seconds. A full minute is super necessary for me because I want you to find ease in the discomfort. Okay. And I give you the choice as a student to come out if you need to come out, but I'm going to hold it for the whole minute. I'm going to keep talking for the whole minute for the people that really want to do the full minute. There's going to be a point would much rather you sit in that discomfort and just allow it to pass, allow the body to open, allow the mind to expand so that you can take that, not because I want to see my students suffer or torture them. No, I want you to put these tools in your toolbox so that when you are off the mat, outside of Fahrenheit, outside of the 4 corners of your mat, you can handle when someone in your life or a situation in your life shit's hitting the fan and you want to lose your mind. No, we have to sit in the discomfort just like we are right now, you guys, with this mandatory kind of shutdown. We're at home and we're not used to that. We're used to going out and being able to do whatever we want, and this is an uncomfortable time. So when we train our minds and our bodies to sit in a posture and be in the burn in 107-degree temperature with 45% humidity, we're just training our minds to be able to access that same ease that we choose in the posture outside, if that makes sense. So that hands to feet posture, if I could go back, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but if I could go back and talk a little bit about the emotional energetics of what we're doing, that's important to me. Pranayama breathing helps us to let go of procrastination and indecision emotionally and spiritually. Hands, half moon, right side, left side, helps us to balance out the way that we see ourselves with the way that we see the world. The left side is the feminine side of the body. The right side is the masculine side of the body. So it helps us to kind of see our truth. And then the back bend is just breaking through fear of the unknown. So Katie, I know that you said you feel dizzy, and I'm sure it's a vulnerable posture. A lot of people don't like to go back like that. We're kind of used to being hunched over every day in our everyday lives, just hunched over a computer. So opening our hearts like that is very uncomfortable emotionally. But you'll hear teachers say, drop the head back, go back, fall back, open your heart, don't be afraid, right? So that helps us to break through fear of the unknown. Hands to feet. Like I said, we're holding it for a full minute. Hands to feet is designed for control freaks like me, okay? We hold a lot of issues of control in the hamstrings. So when you're in a posture like hands to feet and the back line of your body is burning and you want to come out, but yet Nora's just like on this monologue of telling you about the posture and it feels like she's not stopping anytime soon, that helps us to break through issues of control and to learn to accept the present moment just the way it is, even if we don't like it and even if we don't want to be there. Okay, so that is the emotional energetics behind the postures, and in the timing plays into that. If we were to tell the students to come out like when they wanted us to, you'd never get better, and you'd never be able to have those, like, the strength in your body and the strength in your mind. So that there is purpose behind the timing of the poses. All right, so that's pranayama breathing, half moon, back bend, hands to feet. Any questions on that so far? I'm gonna grab some water. I'm grabbing water before the water break. Please excuse me. I think that I'll probably go through. Hold on. All right, let's talk about awkward pose. For the longest time, I was saying Utkatasana, right? It's Utkatasana. Utkatasana literally translates in Sanskrit to like awkward, right? Which it feels awkward as hell. And there's 3 parts of awkward. Each part is meant to be held for 30 seconds each. Hence another one of those postures where you want to come out, but I don't let you until 30 seconds, okay? So let's talk about Utkatasana. So we're done with half moon, okay? And I'm going to place it here so you guys can see better. Still working this. Okay, so we're done with half moon and we're going to move into Utkatasana. Can y'all see me? Take a 6-inch step out to your right with your right foot. Look down at your feet. It's about the distance of your 2 fists. Utilize that, you guys. So take your 2 fists and literally put them in between your feet. If it's more than that, narrow your stance. The distance of your 2 fists, okay? All right. And then, so keep your feet glued in this position throughout all 3 parts of the posture. Your feet look like the number 11, so they're parallel to one another and perpendicular to the front wall. Keep them glued as if they're super glue to the floor with your feet throughout all 3 parts of the posture. So that's that. As you inhale, reach your arms forward, keep your arms straight, strong, and engaged. Your fingers are tight. This is what your fingers look like. I see a lot of this in awkward. Nope. Squeeze and reach. Shoot your fingertips forward. Arms are straight, strong, and engaged. Okay? So here we're here. That's the setup. Remember, now we're going to talk about the setup for a while because that's where we start with the strength that we're going to take into the posture. Suck your stomach in. Pull it in as tight as you possibly can. And then you're going to sit down low in your hips. Sit down low in your hips, okay? Bring the belly of your thighs parallel to the floor, but no lower than that. And shift all of the weight into your heels. Peel your upper body back. Get your spine to rest up against the back wall. Suck your belly in. Sit down really low into this tiny kindergarten chair behind you. Peel your upper body back. So there's a few things that you're going to focus on in this posture. All right? Arms are forward and straight. Fingers are shooting forward. Belly is in. Heart is lifted up and back. So you're literally creating this backward bend against gravity. All of the weight is in your heels. And then you sit down really low in the hips. So as you can imagine, doing this posture in 107-degree temperature is intense, but there's a reason why it is. The heat helps. It helps us to open so that we can sit down lower in that posture, and it helps to sculpt the muscle. So if you were to take a hunk of metal to a blacksmith, how would he reshape the metal? He'd have to heat it up. Same thing with this posture. Your muscles are starting to warm, just like a hunk of metal. Now we're chiseling them, okay? So the heat plays a very important role. So you're sitting down low, belly is in tight, upper body is back, arms are straight. I see a lot of this, right? Arms are down. So you can see the tops of your shoulders visible in the front mirror, and there's 6 inches between your wrists. Belly in, sit down low, 30 seconds, upper body back, okay? Second part, you come up high on the tips of the toes, heels up as high as you can. I'm going to come forward so you can see, okay? Heels are up. It's not like this. No, your heels are up. I'm literally standing on my big toes, you guys. Heels up, heels up, heels up. Can y'all see? Okay, and then slowly upper body starts to lower. So this is what the lower half of the body looks like in awkward. Upper body back. Okay, can y'all see? Not this, this. Okay, and then you come down and your arms are straight. Any questions about first and second part? I'm trying to think. First part of awkward helps us to break through issues of anger, frustration, and rage that we store in the tops of the thighs and the IT bands. Second set of awkward helps us to break through issues of shame and guilt. Third part of awkward helps us to break through issues of I can't remember. I'll have to look that one up. Okay. Third part of awkward. All right. So your feet are together. Your feet are 6 inches apart. Put your knees together first, and then pop your heels up slightly. So this is what your heels should look like. Just a little bit up. You're not like in the second part. You're just like that. Okay, just a little bit. And your knees are together tight. And then you're going to slowly start to slide your spine down the back wall so that you hover your hips about that much over your heels. It's not like this. I'm not just like kind of resting, right? My heels on my hips. I could just do, I could sit here all day and do this. No. So you're going to lift and engage. Point your knees down. See this? So there's a few inches between my heels and my hips. Knees are down. Belly is in. Upper body's back. Arms are straight. Does that help? Danielle says she loves awkward. I don't. Whew. I'm like dying right now and it's not even hot in my house. So yeah, I think that's all with awkward that I can think about. The third part, it's very important that you squeeze your knees and you squeeze your inner thighs together. If you separate your knees, you could really risk injuring your knees. Okay, so if you already have existing knee issues, it is said that you might want to just skip the third part of awkward and just do sets 1 or 2 again. But again, I don't know if you guys have read Bikram's book where he literally had like a 500-pound weight or something dropped on his knee and it shattered. And he swears by the third part of awkward that it helped heal his knee, where doctors said he would never be able to walk again. So just stay above knee pain. Don't go down all the way far if it, creates intense pain. There's a difference between discomfort and pain, and just kind of work the threshold and find that edge where you're not in severe pain, but you're also uncomfortable a little bit. That's okay. Tyler says that she loves awkward too. You guys are insane. So hard. And then let's see. I think that's it. Oh, yes. Can we talk about descending down in the third part of awkward and coming back up, and how slow and controlled that needs to be? I learned this from Cindy Lunsford, who owns Yoga Soul. She taught this to a lot of us that, before, this is what we're doing in the third part of awkward. Whee! No, it should be like a very slow 5 to 7 count descent. Okay, so we're here. Heels are lifted. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then as you descend and as you come up, so we're going to hold this here for 30 seconds, right? Knees are down, belly is tight, you guys, upper body is back, arms are straight. And then on the ascent, coming back up, the tendency is to kind of lean forward. Now you have to keep your upper body back, and then you come up very slowly. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I wanted to also give you guys a little trick that I've noticed Anna Heath doing, right? I've been watching Anna Heath's practice, and I noticed that when she goes from second to third part of awkward, she does this thing. And she was like, yeah, it's kind of an advanced thing. This is what she does, okay? So So you can kind of try this out. She goes from the second part of awkward. She's here, okay? She's there, and I tell her to release. And normally we would just be like that and bring our heels down. Anna, she keeps her heels up, and then she descends into the third with her heels up like this. Watch. So she's here in second part, okay? Then what she'll do is she keeps her heels up, and she just brings her knees together to touch, and she starts to descend. And I think that's just like an extra challenge, right? And then upper body back, gaze forward, laser beam concentration. You guys burn a hole through that point. Scoop through your tailbone, pull your belly in, arms are straight, and then she comes all the way up without leaning forward. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then her heels drop, feet together. Isn't that cool? I thought that was really interesting. So, whew, you guys, this is hard. That's awkward. Any questions about awkward? And then we're going to move into eagle, because I'm going to wrap up here. I don't want to take more than an hour of y'all's time. Okay, eagle. As you inhale, reach your arms up over the head, palms touch. As you exhale, swing your right arm under your left arm. I know it looks kind of opposite for you guss. Cross your elbows first, bend your elbows, cross your forearms, and then your wrists. So your thumbs face your face and your pinkies face out. So this is kind of where we're at. Okay, I see a lot of this where people are like, what the heck is going on? If you're unable to get that full grip, right, you can maybe grab your thumb or just kind of move in that direction and pull your elbows down. Okay, that's hot 26 eagle. Vinyasa eagle, elbows up and away. Hot 26, elbows down so that you try to get your fingers below the tip of your nose like the beak of an eagle, hence the name of the posture, eagle. Okay, so that's your grip. If you see, if you have really big muscles and you're really tight in your shoulders and you're unable to get this grip, that's okay. Maybe you can even just grab opposite shoulders and eventually kind of move towards the grip. But for now, you're welcome as a modification to grab opposite shoulders. Pull your elbows down, sit down low, like you did in that little chair. So we have opened up all the 4 lines of the body with half moon, and we've fired up the lower half of the body with awkward, and now we're going to open. We're nice and open and warm to be able to sit down low like we do in eagle. Bring your right leg high up and over your left leg. Cross it at your thighs first, then cross at your calves and ankles for that grip. Okay, if you're unable to get the wrap in the legs, just sit down low, squeeze your knees and squeeze your thighs together tight, peel your upper body back, and point your toes down towards the earth. All of the weight in eagle is shifted into your heel, not the weight in your toe. So weight is in your heel to protect your knee joint. Okay, so I see a lot of this. That's like, no, shift the weight back into your heel, and then try to eliminate the space between the top of your foot and your calf, and then slide your toes down towards the earth. Okay, that's the wrap in the legs. This is also what I see in eagle, where people are like, let me see. People are like that, right? So you have to bring your right hip back, upper body more to the left. So if a bead of sweat were to fall off my elbow, it would directly hit my knee. Okay, so everything in the central line of the body. Eagle helps us to cultivate creative energy. That's the emotional energetics of the posture. So if you're ever feeling blocked creatively, eagle is a really good posture for that. We also cut off the blood circulation to the entire lower half of the body through the wrap. As you cross wrap twist, it's not enough for you just to get the wrap, but you have to squeeze your inner thighs and squeeze your knees together to cut off the blood circulation to the lower half of the body. So much that if there was like a walnut in between your knees, try to crack it. That's how much the squeeze is happening, and you're sitting down really low, shifting the weight into your heel, pulling the elbows down to compress your diaphragm, and peeling your upper body back to your spine rest up against the back wall the whole time. When we do release out of the posture, then we rush freshly oxygenated blood back into all of the internal organs that we cut off the blood circulation to. So we are flushing the bodies in this posture. We're opening up the 12 major joints in the body. We're opening up the ankles, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, the elbows, and the wrists. And this posture is the end of the warm-up series. This is the last posture in the warm-up series. I could go on and on about Eagle, but I'm going to stop now because we're at the hour mark. And just say that before this point in class, we refrain from taking water. The reason why we don't take water until this point, until after Eagle, is because we're trying to warm up the body externally through the heat panels above us, and internally through the postures. So now that our body is nice and warm, we can take a little bit of water, small sips of water throughout class in between the postures so we don't distract ourselves and those around us. And eventually, when we want to get to the point where we don't even have to take water in class, and that we're hydrating before and after class. So we're so hydrated when we come into class, we don't need to even really take much water. If we take water before this point in class, it's like we're kind of putting out that internal fire that we're trying to create. So that's kind of why you'll hear teachers say, like, please don't take water. If you see someone taking water before Eagle, like they'll say, please just wait until the water break. My favorite, Danielle's asking, what's my favorite Hot 26 posture? That's a good question. I don't practice much Hot 26, believe it or not. I've gotten back into it. Even though I teach Hot 26, I've been teaching it for around, like I said, 11 years. I've gotten into a season in my life where my life is very kind of predictable, and I know exactly what I'm doing. And so I kind of crave the fluidity and spontaneity of vinyasa. So I've been really into my vinyasa practice. But I would say my favorite Hot 26 posture would probably be Eagle. I love it. It's just a posture that I feel really strong in. And it's taken me a lot of time to master that posture. And so I'm proud of myself for it. And yeah, thank you guys for spending time with me during this hour. I love all of you. I'm thinking of all of you, praying for all of you, and hope you know that my heart is with you during this time, with you and your families. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with you guys in a different way. Like, this is fun. This is exciting. So thank you for spending time with me, and I hope to see you later on this week. Love you guys. Mwah. Love you, Gavin. Let me see how I get off the live.